high-speed rail construction has become a hot topic across Asia. Most recently, the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway, a collaboration between China and Indonesia, officially began operations, making headlines throughout Southeast Asia. The line doesn't just reduce travel time between the two cities from 3.5 hours to just 40 minutes. It also marks Indonesia's entry into the world of high-speed rail. Meanwhile, countries like India and Vietnam, who had initially chosen Japan for their own high-speed rail plans, are now expressing doubts. Online, many people in these countries are asking the same question: where is our high-speed rail? Surprisingly, Vietnam now appears ready to shift away from Japan and instead work with China. So what's behind this change? What made Vietnam reconsider? Let's dive into global infrastructure and explore China's role in international cooperation. Subscribe to stay informed on the latest developments. The Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail is China's first such project in Southeast Asia, and a key part of the Belt and Road Initiative. Construction started in 2015, and the line spans 143 kilometers, with trains designed to run at speeds of up to 350 kilometers per hour. Initially set to open in 2019, the project was delayed by several challenges: land acquisition issues, procurement delays, environmental concerns, and pandemic-related cost increases. As a result, the total cost rose from $4.3 billion to $7.3 billion. Following the formal opening ceremony, the line is now expected to launch full operations in October. Travel time between Jakarta and Bandung will drop dramatically, from over 3 hours to just 40 minutes. This makes Indonesia only the second country in the world, after China, to operate trains at 350 kilometers per hour. According to the Jakarta Post, China praised the line after test operations, saying its quality matched that of Chinese railways. At the ASEAN summit, Indonesia asked China to help extend the line. China agreed in principle, encouraged by the project's early success. While Indonesia is moving forward, things haven't gone as smoothly for India and Vietnam, two countries that also launched high-speed rail plans around the same time. India's first high-speed line from Ahmedabad was announced in 2015, 1 year before Indonesia's project, yet it still isn't finished and lacks a clear completion date. Delays and ballooning costs have plagued the plan from the start. Vietnam's situation is even worse. Over 20 years ago, the country proposed a north-south high-speed rail project. But to this day, construction hasn't started. The plan has faced repeated delays and continues to hang in uncertainty. The difference is stark. While Indonesia celebrates, India and Vietnam are still stuck in planning stages. Citizens in both countries are now questioning why their governments didn't partner with China from the beginning. Back in 2015, India announced it would invest $50 billion into a national high-speed rail system. Both China and Japan fought hard to win the contract. This wasn't just a battle of technology, it was also about financing. Both countries offered competitive packages. Japan eventually won the bid, thanks to its ultra-low interest loan at just 0.1%. But after securing the deal, Japan faced serious challenges. What once looked like a promising project quickly became a costly headache. Part of the problem lies in India's complicated approach to foreign investment. While India aggressively promotes itself as business-friendly, the reality can be very different. To attract foreign investors, India often offers generous early incentives like tax breaks, relaxed rules, and fast-tracked approvals. But once deals are signed, many foreign companies encounter unexpected red tape and legal obstacles. In some extreme cases, foreign assets have even been frozen or seized. One major example is the Chinese smartphone giant Xiaomi. Despite dominating the Indian market, Xiaomi had $4.8 billion in assets frozen by Indian authorities. This raised some serious concerns among international investors about doing business in India. Japanese firms have also run into trouble, especially in infrastructure. Projects that seemed promising at the start have, well, been slowed down by legal, bureaucratic, and logistical setbacks. A major source of delay in India's high-speed rail project has been, honestly, land acquisition and demolition disputes. These issues have triggered serious delays and cost overruns. In one notable case, Indian authorities demolished part of a railway but charged an unexpectedly high demolition fee, sparking public outrage. Protesters gathered on both sides of the track to object. Despite the Indian Railways' attempts to clear protesters, land acquisition progress remained dismal. Between 2016 and 2021, less than 23% of the required land was secured. These delays have cost Japan dearly, an estimated $600 million lost so far just due to land issues. And the longer the delays continue, the higher the financial toll. As it stands, Japan has only managed to complete 10 kilometers of track in over 8 years. Vietnam has also run into trouble, although for different reasons. Since 2001, the country has aimed to build a north-south high-speed rail system. In 2009, Vietnam launched an international tender, and Japan quickly stepped in with offers of ultra-low interest loans to sweeten the deal. Japan eventually secured the bid and was granted the rights to build, but the project stalled due to legal and political barriers at home. Vietnamese law, requires parliamentary approval for any infrastructure project that exceeds $1.9 billion. Japan's proposal, which was actually seen as both costly and slow, called for a budget equal to about one-third of Vietnam's entire GDP at the time. When put to a vote, over 60% of lawmakers rejected the plan, citing fears it could honestly cripple the economy. This, in effect, shut down the project before even a single kilometer could be built. Things worsened in 2014 when a Japanese news outlet uncovered a corruption scandal involving a Japanese transport consulting firm. An investigation revealed that 60% of roughly 100 million yen had been paid as bribes to senior Vietnamese railway officials. In response, the Japanese government suspended its aid to Vietnam, citing poor anti-corruption efforts, bringing the project to a standstill and damaging public trust. Although Vietnam had initially planned to invest around $60 billion in rail development, it quickly became clear the country lacked the funds to make it happen. This funding gap was yet another blow to the high-speed dream. Meanwhile, Indonesia had taken a different approach, partnering with China. The benefits were clear, modern, comfortable trains and 51,000 new jobs created during construction, giving the economy a real boost. Inspired by Indonesia's success, many in Vietnam began rethinking their own choices. On social media, Indonesians celebrated the Jakarta-Bandung line as a major national achievement. These celebrations didn't go unnoticed. Vietnamese citizens started pushing for their country to partner with China too. Public opinion shifted fast. In June this year, the Vietnamese Prime Minister visited China. Over 3 days, officials from both nations held deep discussions about Vietnam's north-south high-speed rail plan. Topics included design, financing, standards, and construction timelines. Given the progress made during those talks, it seems likely that Vietnam and China will soon strike a formal agreement. If that happens, Vietnam will likely adopt Chinese technology and equipment, just as Indonesia did. Such a move would be transformative. It wouldn't just overhaul Vietnam's transport system. It could ripple across other sectors. The communications and logistics industries may begin shifting to Chinese standards. Infrastructure development could accelerate, driving rapid modernization. That's the end of today's video. Now we'd love to hear from you. What other factors do you think led to Japan's failures in Asia's high-speed rail race? And do you think China will help Vietnam finally bring its high-speed rail plans to life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with friends so more people can join the conversation. Thanks for watching. See you next time.